Charcoal is one of the oldest fuel sources in existence. Our ancient ancestors likely discovered the benefits of cooking with charcoal soon after they learned how to control fire more than 1 million years ago. And millions of people around the world still use it on a daily basis to cook their food. However, studies have identified charcoal production as one of the main drivers of deforestation and forest degradation in Nigeria. The traditional methods of making charcoal lead to high carbon emissions and are a waste of wood resources, which is decimating ecosystems across the African continent. 6,000 years ago, charcoal was the preferred fuel for smelting copper. After the invention of the blast furnace around 14,000 AD, charcoal was used extensively around the world for iron smelting. By the 18th century, forest depletion led to a preference for coke, which is a coal-based form of charcoal, as an alternative fuel. Nigeria lost nearly half of its forest area between 2007 and 2017, according to the World Bank's Little Green Data Book. In 2017, the staggering deforestation forced environmental policy makers to recommend a de facto ban on charcoal exports by ceasing to issue the permits required to produce charcoal for export legally. But the following year, with these policies still in place, all the country's imports of Nigerian charcoal grew by 34%, according to Comtrade, the United Nations Export and Import Database. Nigeria is currently ranked second in global charcoal production and first in Africa, earning up to $73.2 million from exports yearly, while Brazil takes the lead with 6.3 million tons. But according to a 2017 study, forest degradation alone is responsible for 2.1 billion tons of carbon dioxide emissions each year. This is a major danger on Africans.
I've always been a fan of waste to wealth from early years. I believe nothing should be wasted. I've tried my hands on several waste to wealth projects, turning the waste into something usable.
To help avert these danger of deforestation and air pollution in our communities as a result of charcoal production, a young Nigerian has summoned upon himself to research and bring into reality the production of briquettes by using sawdust and rice husk, popularly known as rice chaff, which he believes is another wonderful means of turning waste into treasures.
My name is Ayodele Ajibola, a graduate of Mechanical Engineering, University of Ilorin. I'm the CEO of La Paria Premium Energy Limited, where we produce briquette charcoals from agricultural waste.
Ayodele Ajibola, a graduate of Mechanical Engineering, University of Ilorin, an indigene of Ekiti State, says, if you can recycle it, why waste it?
This is our raw materials needed for charcoal briquettes. It's rice husk generated from the milling of rice. This waste is so abundant in Nigeria. From data, it shows that Nigeria generates 1 million tons of it every year. So why waste it when it can be turned into usable energy?
He's the executive director, La Paria Premium Energy Limited, the brain behind the innovation of briquettes.
This is a briquette that was molded from the briquetting machine. So after that, we load it into these baskets and we put it into the furnace and we burn it for between 6 to 8 hours. And it produces the briquette charcoals.
To reduce high dependence on biomass as a source of energy is to promote the use of briquette at homes and by the industries. Research shows that briquette is smokeless and provides higher temperature more quickly than coal and wood.
Compared to the normal wood charcoal, briquette charcoal burns longer. You take 1 kg and burn, you will get up to 3 hours burning just 1 kg. It has a very high calorific value, in that the heat is much more hotter than normal charcoal. Furthermore, it's smokeless. The normal charcoal emits some smoke, which are hazardous to the health. But briquette charcoal, it's smokeless, doesn't emit any smoke, no odor, and also no sparks.
The households who could not afford the gas or grid connection could use briquette made from rice husk as an alternative heat source.
It cooks faster. It lasts more than the normal charcoal. It does excellent job. I will always recommend it.
I want to testify to La Paria briquette charcoal. It burns longer, it's hotter, smokeless, sparkless. I don't need much quantity to make my meals.
Briquetting is considered for its economic reliability and ease of operation. Briquettes is therefore here to save Africa of deforestation and air pollution, as it will drastically reduce the cutting of trees for fuel, which will result in desertification in the future. To help these young Nigerian individuals, private organizations, federal and state ministries of environment and forestry should tap into these great innovation and put an end to deforestation as we all come together to turn in trash to treasure.
Okay, are we good now?
Yes, you are good to go now.
Great, great. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. So hello everyone and good evening. Welcome to this special edition. As I promised, giving an eye opener to Briquette Production. So turning waste into wealth with Briquette charcoal. My name, as you have seen on the screen, is Ayodele Ajibola. I'm a trained mechanical engineer, and the slogan below says, "People don't lack opportunities, they lack awareness." So we want to inform you and let you know what you can do with waste today. So I was just like you. I wasn't born into somewhere that they are producing charcoal. If you ever looked at sawdust or rice husk and think it's a waste or it's useless, or maybe any agricultural waste, you feel it's useless, I want to believe that today's session might just flip your mindset. I didn't grow up around Briquette Production. I didn't even know what it was, until one day I just saw a post on Facebook. One of my friends posted that the guy normally posts business opportunities. So I saw that he posted you can turn sawdust into charcoal, and that sparked a journey for me. It hit me that you can convert waste into something valuable. And since then, I started researching, testing, asking questions, doing a lot of YouTubes and all that. And I thank God I had some money to throw around then, And to be honest, I made a lot of mistakes, from getting the wrong machine, wrong drying method, failed batches, But with time and persistence, it started making sense. There was a time we thought we could build the briquetting machine. We thought we could build it locally. And then we continue spending money on building the machine. And these artisans, they will tell you they can do it, and at the end of the day, they will just give you something that is worse than what you are beginning with. And it was like that. Wasted a lot of money on different equipments here and there, and a lot of things like that. Wasted millions of naira. But now Briquette Production has become more than a business to me. It's a purpose, and I'm turning waste into valuable income, creating opportunities. And I believe I'll be able to help one or two people here today to show them that, look, Briquette Production is something. All right. So Briquette charcoal is this charcoal that you make from sawdust. If it's directly from the wood, it's a normal charcoal. But if you make it from sawdust or waste, it becomes briquettes. So we're talking about Briquette charcoal. In this sense, the raw materials are sawdust and rice husk. Although you can use any agricultural waste. I'll go in that in a moment, how to do that, because there are actually two ways of producing briquette charcoals. So I'll talk briefly on both ways and both ways, and let you know the one we are using at the moment. So briquette is affordable. It burns longer. I posted one of a review on the WhatsApp group when someone said that one of my customers said if he uses normal charcoal to cook beans, the same quantity, she'll have to refill the charcoal stove 2 to 3 times before the beans get done. But when she uses this laparia, this briquette charcoal, just once cook, finished cooking the beans, she was also boiling water. So that shows that it burns longer, and it's a clean form of energy, which is being advocated right now by the United Nations, clean cooking and all that. And it is easy to package and easy to package and ship abroad, because the export market of these products is very, very valuable, So briquette is something very powerful that could change lives. All right. So what do you need to start? What do you need to start? Number one, raw materials. Okay. Before then, let me talk about this. There are 2 ways of producing briquette charcoal. Now, please get this very right. You can write it down. Please write it down. The first method is to carbonate, or starting from get your raw materials, carbonate, crush, mix with an adhesive, then extrude, then you dry. I take that again. You carbonate, and the carbonization is the process of burning with little or no oxygen. So there are carbonization cleans, carbonization machine, like the last diagram on this page. The last diagram on this page is the carbonation machine. Hope you see that. All right. So you carbonate first, then you crush, you mix with an adhesive. A lot of people use starch. A lot of the producers use starch or any other chemical. From them, it goes into the extruding machine. Then after then, it dries. Some people use hand stamping, but that kind of method, I see that it is not, for me, it's not commercially viable, because where is the sun that you use to dry, and then bringing in another form of drying, it doesn't really make it for me. So that's why that's why I went with the other method, which is number one, we bring in the raw materials. All right, we bring in the raw materials. After that, it goes through some sieving. After sieving, it goes through drying, because you need to bring down the moisture of the material to a particular percentage before it goes into the briquetting machine. Now, the briquetting machine works in a way that you'll be imagining that, okay, how does the sawdust bind together without chemical, without any adhesive? I've gotten these questions. So, a lot of times I've gotten these questions. Look, how does this thing bind together? Now, there's a magic inside the briquetting machine. Not magic really, that is technology, whereby when sawdust or these raw materials, sawdust and rice hull, when they go through a high temperature, there's a property of the material which is called the lignin. Once lignin goes through a hot temperature, the adhesive in it comes out and it binds together the raw material. That's where you get your briquette wood. So what do you need to start? Raw materials, of course, you have to be near the raw materials. Very important. Either the sawdust or the rice husk. A lot of people have rice husk in their vicinity, and even the rice husk is not just it's not just any rice husk you can go and just pack and say you want to use it for rice husk. No, there's a way we look at it to know the one that will work better. Now, sawdust too. Even sawdust, it's not just any sawdust that you just go and pick up and say you want to start using it for, no. There's how we know the right sawdust to use and all that. So of course you need a workspace, a factory. If it's not a factory, well, anywhere you are doing production is a factory. So you need a workspace to carry out this. And most importantly, you need access to grid power. Because from experience, generator does not do this thing. Number one, if you're going to use generator, you will need something like a 50 kVA and above. And you know the cost of diesel right now. So using generator to do this production you will use all your profits to buy diesel. So it's a no-go area. So, and of course, power is not good in Nigeria, but there are still some places that we have good power. Like when we started ours, we were in a place, I thought the place has good power. Of course, I know that there must be good power where you want to do this thing. So I thought there is a good power there. When we started, we were now getting power of about 4 hours per day, which is not it. So after building a factory there, we have to move to another place, where we have 33 kVA and we can have we now have 18 hours of light, which is good. So you have to choose where you can have 18 hours of light and your nearest to raw material. So if you are weighing it, nearest to raw material or power, which one is for you to be the most important between those two is power. So if you have to go and bring your raw material from a little bit far place to where you have constant power, then you have to do that, because if not, you frustrate yourself. So talking about the machines that is used for this type of process, I've told you about the first process and the second process, which goes through bringing your raw material, going through the sieving, going through the dryers, and from there it goes into the briquetting machine. Then you carbonize, you cool, and then you start packaging and branding. All right, so it's just 3 simple steps. Of course, you know what you need now, what you need to start. I've talked about the raw materials, the workspace. You need power, very important, the machines that you need, and then packaging and then branding. Okay, if you look at the picture here, the first on the top of this page, that is what the airflow dryer looks like. All right, that can be locally built. Personally, I build it, and I've mentored people that were able to build it, so it's no issue. Of course, I'm a mechanical engineer, so I can do all that. Okay. Now, the next picture you see on this slide is the briquetting machine. This is the main machine for this business. That is what turns the sawdust or rice husk into the solid wood that you have. All right. So, and the last on that list is the carbonation machine. There are 2 types. This is the horizontal one. We also have the vertical ones. I use the vertical, So those are the simple things that you need to start. Okay, and the simple, I've summarized all the steps into 3, which is you collect and prepare materials. All right, you collect and prepare your materials. Get sawdust and rice husk from the mills, and make sure it is clean and dry, because you cannot bring in a wet material to the factory. Number 1, it will increase your load. Secondly, it has to dry before it goes into the drying machine, because sometimes even if it is dry, physically it looks dry, but it is not yet dry to the level that the briquetting machine can take it. So if you now go and bring in actually wet raw material, then you are a long way to getting it dried before it enters the briquetting machine. Okay. So you dry, then you compress to briquettes, then you carbonize, and then after carbonation, you have to leave it to cool down. If not, I've had someone that, of course, I've also made that mistake before. Once, after carbonization, when you open the carbonizing engine after carbonization, it blows up and everything goes to ashes. But you need to make it to cool down. You need to cool it down so that you can, when it cools down, you can bring it out of the carbonization machine. Then you package and you sell. So it's as simple as that. Now, there are a lot of common mistakes to avoid. Mistakes to avoid. Number 1 is buying the wrong machines. I told you earlier how I wasted a lot of money buying the wrong machines because there was nobody to mentor. Even the person that put the post on Facebook does not know anything about it. He just know that this thing is possible. And he posted it there, you know. So I had nowhere to go and look at anything and like that. One thing happened when we now brought the machine from China, just the briquetting machine. I've showed you the picture earlier. Something happened, and we didn't get enough spare part for the machine. There's one thing in the machine that we call the screw. It's a kind of extruder, you know. And when we bought it, then they told us, look, one of these screw will work for 6 months before it needs changing. So I just bought 5 of it. If I had known, I would have bought like 15. So I just bought 5 of it. And when it came, we used 1, 2 days, it went down. Within 6 days, 7, the machine stopped working. You know, we tried everything that we could, it didn't work. There was a point I was like, okay, maybe I was having spiritual attack because of the people I have employed. So I had to sack all the staffs, you know, sack everybody and remaining the welder. So we continued trying, and you know that this thing was bought in China. If you have issues, for you to talk to them, for you to give them, tell them what you're facing, and for them to respond, it takes like 3 days. So it was a lot of waiting. It was a lot of waiting. And then at that point, when I say I'm not getting solutions, I started looking for people anywhere in Africa. I was ready to travel. And anywhere in Africa, I can see anybody doing this, and I will go there and learn. Unfortunately, I could not get anybody. Looked at Kenya, looked at all these countries and then these China people, they will not tell you who and who they have sold to. They will not tell you that, you know. So we stayed like that for, I think, 3 to 4 weeks. But we were working using our engineering ability to solve the problem. But fortunately, we were able to restore the screw to the proper shape. And then we started working with it. And then all those audios, it was just a simple thing that we needed to do. But it took us a month to get that thing. So those are the common mistakes and the things that we will face without any mentorship and in the business. You know, using wet materials, moisture kills your briquettes. Even if physically the raw materials are dry, all right, but it is still not okay for the briquetting machine. There's a point that's why you have the dryer. There's a point at which you have to dry that sawdust or rice husk before it can be easy for the briquetting machine to work on. That's what makes your briquette hard. Poor packaging is also part of it. Look at the packaging we have here. Very nice packaging, and it helped us in selling a lot. And another thing is targeting the wrong market. You see, the ordinary people on the streets will not buy briquette from you because the face value might just be higher for them to buy. They prefer to go and buy local because of the cost. But at the end of the day, or at the long run, you see that briquettes are actually cheaper than normal charcoal. Because what you will do with a bag of big charcoal, I can do it with few logs of briquette charcoal. So at the end of the day, it seems cheaper than a normal charcoal. And of course, the export market is one of our main targets. That's where you get the good money from. All right. So what happened next? What should happen next right now? Production is not for everybody. You know, it's not everybody that has the capacity to go into production of briquette charcoals. You know, but if you are ready to move beyond this free content or this free training, if you want step-by-step guidance, then you should be able to get the full guide and the mentorship, which is your next stop. All right, because in this mentorship program, we're going to tell people, we're going to take your hand from when you want to start, from your idea to when you start making profit. We'll walk you through. So the mistake that we have made, you really don't have to make those mistakes. You know, it's good. We guide you through everything. So now you are probably thinking, how do I really get started, without making the same mistakes that we have made. So the next thing for you is just to get the ebook so that you can be enrolled in the mentorship program. So inside it, I'm going to share the full step-by-step guide, where to buy the right machines, the vendors that we use in Nigeria and China, the cost of breakdown of the production, and how to get buyers, either locally and internationally. See, every day, people people call us for this product. I was one of a friend was just calling me today. I think she's also here. She has a lot of orders to make. And this is where we are looking for people to join this business. This business is something that very few people, excuse me, very few people are in this business. So, but we need collaborations. If I have orders now and I cannot fulfill the orders, I should be able to collaborate with someone that, okay, look, you produce, I produce, so I can put it together and export. Now, this architect Zainab today just shared that, look, she has a very large production that whoever can participate or collaborate so that they can produce this. So this is why we need more people to come into this business. And then it's not, I'm telling you, it's not an easy business, but with mentorship, and then if you don't make the mistakes that we have made, I have lost millions in this business, but at the end of the day, it made sense. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot, So what you're going to get in this guide, you're going to get 30 pages of the real step-by-step instructions. Of course, I've said this, where to buy the tested machine. The cost estimation, we can give you your cost estimation and the profit, the exact profit you're going to make, depending on your capacity. So if you want to go for probably a 500 kg production per day, probably a 1 ton production per day, all these things, we have the calculations. We can guide you through and what is going to come in and what's going to go out. And of course, the trainings that you need to do. Of course, machines does all these things. Any machine operator can operate these machines with few trainings and all that. So of course, you'll be in the mentorship group, where if you ask any question, if you need any assistance, you want to order equipment and you don't want them to defraud you, we'll go with you. I mean, we'll do it with you, do everything, questions that you need to do, whatever you need to know, we'll give it to you. Now, this isn't just a guide, and it's a shortcut. I made a mistake, so you don't have to make those mistakes. This is everything I wish I had when I started. If I had something like this and I can climb on the shoulders of some other people, and all the mistakes that I have made, nobody, I mean, you will not make, you won't make all those mistakes. So it's a one-time investment of 50,000 naira. No recurring fee, no upsell, just knowledge, tools, and the support you need to start right. So if you are serious, this is your next move. Not everybody wants to do this, but if you know that, look, I have been looking at starting a briquette production factory, this is what you need to do. Get our mentorship program, which this is not just what we read, we are actually in the business, but we need more people so that we can collaborate. So we'll bring you in, and the fact is, we only need 10 people to join this mentorship program, because, of course, when the crowd is large, we can't have all the time to do it. So just 10 people who are ready to do that can visit the page on your screen right now and get access to the full book, and you will be enrolled into mentorship. You have access to whatever you need. So on a final note, I will end. You see, opportunities don't always shout. Sometimes they whisper in form of waste. All right. And if you look at your screen, it's saying every successful business you see today started with somebody saying it. Having Briquette Production, and it was because someone said it online. So I'm saying it to you today, look, this is possible. So you have seen the potential, you have gotten clarity. Now it's your move. whatever you want to do now, do it. If you are ready about this business, look at this screen, get your ebook. Once you get your ebook, you will enroll into mentorship, and we can go on from there. So let's turn waste into wealth together. So I'll be pausing here. Thank you very much. And I will entertain some questions now. So if you have one or two questions, you can just raise your hand and ask the questions, and then we can talk about it. Thank you. Okay, someone is asking, how much is 50,000 in dollars? Okay, that's just about divided by 160. So that's just about $30. $30. Okay. Mr. Adeyinka, can you unmute and ask your question?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody.
Please go ahead.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. My question is, where is your office located? Your factory?
We are in Kwara, Ilorin.
In Nigeria, yeah.
We are in Kwara and Ilorin to be precise. And then we also have one in Lagos. I have one of my mentees that started one in Lagos. So we also do it together. So, but I am based, the main factory is in Ilorin, Kwara State.
Okay, sir. Because I'm calling from I'm in Lagos.
Okay. Okay. If you're in Lagos,
so,
and refer you to.
So I know that there are some questions. Yeah.
Come again?
Because there are some questions that I may not be able to. I can't ask all the questions.
Okay.
Right now on the group.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that it may be something that I can come physically, or if I can get a number I will call after the meeting, then I can get a full breakdown of whatever I want to ask.
Okay.
Because of our time.
Are you going into Briquette Production, or you want to buy briquettes?
Since I'm new in the business, I can start by buying and selling. Then after then, I can now move on by saying, okay, let me invest more by having a factory.
Okay, good. So the first step is still to get our full book, and we'll enroll you into a private access for the mentorship program, where you can ask all your questions. They will open up everything that you want to ask. We'll open up everything to you. So that's the best thing to do. Thank you very much. Mr. Michael Olarewaju, can you have the floor?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Yodele. Thanks for the presentation and the opportunity given to us. Yes. So my first question is, the mentorship class, is it all virtual mentorship class, or there will be time whereby there might be physical class?
Yeah, the
that's my
mentorship
first
class
question.
Did you get this? Okay. The mentorship class is actually for people who wants to start the production of this stuff. So we're going to do everything with you. If you need physical, if it's going to be physical, in fact, when you want to start, we'll come and inspect, and we'll just guide you through everything. So it's like you are becoming a partner with us. All right. When you are in the mentorship group, we'll share everything with you, and everything you want to know, we'll guide you through. Because our joy is that more people come into the business. So, and that is why we are doing this.
Yes. Thank you. I'm excited for the opportunity, because for a while now, like you mentioned, there was a time I was trying to surf online to see in Nigeria where they are doing producing briquettes, but I couldn't get enough information. Okay. So not until I saw your ad on Facebook and I joined the link. So yeah, so I think it's what. Thank you so much.
Good. So we're expecting you to go to that link and get your book. Then we enroll you into the mentorship program. Okay, Anieti Basi, can you have the floor?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. And thank you for what you are doing. That's cool, taking Nigeria forward. What I want to know, talking about the screw of the extruder,
Yes.
were you able to fabricate it locally, or you are still sourcing it outside the shore of Nigeria? That is what I want to know.
Okay. There is no need to fabricate it. All right. You just repair after some use. All right, which will involve special electrodes and welding machine. So that is what we use to the place that the part of it that has wear out. We just repair it and polish it, and it's back to use. Because of course, when we are having that problem, we went to a lot of fabrication houses to fabricate the screw. But some we fabricate it, once we put it inside, it breaks. So when we now learn to the actual one that comes with the machine, you just polish it, you re-weld it, you repair it, and it starts working again. You get that?
Thank you very much. I get that.
All right.
So the next thing now is joining the group, right?
Need to join the mentorship class. All right. And there we give you everything you need to be with you to profit. Okay. Who else? I think Mr. Joel has talked earlier. Okay, let's have you, Mr. Joel.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. Good
evening, sir.
And thank you once again for the opportunity and for teaching us something new today. Thank you so much. My question is a quick one. I just wanted to know, during your presentation, you made mention of two type of waste that can be used for this particular briquettes that we are talking about. You spoke about sawdust and then rice husk. Yeah.
Yes.
So I just wanted to know, can we only use those two type of waste materials, or we can still, expand into other wastes such as coconut husk and then probably mango kernel or something of that sort? Can you use all those things, or is kind of purely wood?
Okay, very good. Very good, Mr. Joel. That's a very good question. That's a very good question. When I started this, or at one point, I mentioned that there are two processes of producing briquettes. One is, you remember the process I talked about? So for the process that we are doing, we only use sawdust or rice husk. A lot of people prefer sawdust. A lot of customers, especially outside the country, they prefer sawdust. Why? Because sawdust brings you less ash when it is being burnt. But rice husk, you get more ash. So they prefer sawdust. All right. So it's only sawdust and rice husk for this process. But for the other process that goes through from carbonization to crushing, mixing, to drying, that you can use any agricultural waste can do that. Any agricultural waste can do that. So those are the two processes. I believe I've answered your question, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So during this mentorship, are we going to be taught the two processes, or you are going to focus only on the?
We're going to let you know the two processes, but we'll be focusing on this one that we are doing. All right. We want to do something practical, not something that we have read or somebody else is doing. It is what we are doing that we teach you to do.
Okay.
You get that, sir?
Oh, okay. The reason why I ask the question, sometimes the availability of the raw materials, depending on where the person is living, is also key. Some people might be living in an area whereby they can get access to other waste other than the rice husk, and then that's why I was asking the question.
Whatever raw material is in your area, we push you through that particular aspect of production. So that's what you learn. Okay. So I see Xiaomi 231. This is not a name. We're running up now. Okay, can I have Architect Zainab Imam?
Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome.
In fact, I'm happy to be here. I'm a living testimony of that without mentor, just interest and starting. I've been struggling with it since 2022.
Wow.
Honestly. Yes, first of all, we had that problem of the screw that he talked about. So we never knew that was the problem, Sha. It would just be spreading until I met Liberia, because I also live in Ilori. So I went to complain to him. That was when he told me that the problem is from the screw. And the other error we made again, that he saved my machine. We were like, this screw it used to it wear out on time. What we need to do is to get a very hard electrode to create it so that it will not wear on time. Got home, I went to his phone and I told him that this is what we have done, that the screw we have put this we have melted a very hard metal on it so that it will not wear out. What he told me is that the damage I'll do to the machine, I won't be able to afford it, because that means this screw will not spoil. It's the machine that is going to spoil. So that was why we didn't use that particular extruder. Yes, that extruder, we just left it, we didn't use it. And some other problems. So I think starting Briquette is not just about starting. One has to get the one has to understand what one needs first. Because where I equally located my machine also, I still had that problem of power supply. So I think the machine has been like 3 years now. The power supply is poor. The samples I've been producing, I use diesel, but both the gain and everything, diesel packs everything. So I had to suspend it. So I think the mentorship class actually worth it. Thank you very much, Liberia, for this wonderful opportunity. I think
Thank you,
everybody
Zainab.
doesn't
Can
have
you
to
share
go
the
through
order you had recently that you are looking for collaborators?
Okay, I think I posted my product on Trade Key. Is it Trade Key or Trade Wheel? But another B2B platform contacted me, and they told me that they have requests that somebody needs my products in Liverpool, although they are Indians. So she said she is a kind of, I'm going to, when I produce, they will send someone to check it to make sure that it is the right thing. Then I'll be paid. And then, yes, and then they'll send it. But the quantity they're talking about seems high. So, and with the problem we are facing a little bit, that was why I had to contact Liberia that we share it, and he said he's been busy. So, but Liberia gave me a better option so that I can use the space.
Thank you.
To start.
Thank you, Architect Zainab. Of course, that is how we get orders every day. Every day. That's how we get orders every day. So we needed people to come into this business so that we can work together. I see somebody, Richard. Is he here? Can you have the floor? That will be like the last question. Okay, yes, please unmute yourself and.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir. No, Mr. Richard, can you unmute yourself?
Sorry, this is not Richard.
My question is this, sir.
Okay, just hold on. Let Mr.
I'm
Richard.
talking about.
Mr.
Sir,
Richard,
my question is this one.
Okay.
Sir, my question is this, sir.
Okay.
What is the cost for an average setup of the machine? What kind of cost do we require for, say, you want to set up this thing? Which figure are we looking at before we'll be able to set it up? Then again, you talked about diaspora, that this is business that somebody can do when he's in outside Nigeria, and can he be able to monitor it too? Because you mentioned that this is a business that can be done by those people in outside the shores of this country. So the two questions I have, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Very good. The cost of setup, all this is in the full guide. Although, okay, for instance, the briquetting machine, just the briquetting machine, the cost of landing in Nigeria is about 4 million. Just briquetting machine. So that's just an example. So, but you can have the full access to all this in the full guide. So, about people in diaspora that can do this business, of course, it's what you can manage from. Sure, you have to have somebody here. And you know, one thing about this, it is you are using waste to do this production. So your risk is minimal. So it is easy for someone in diaspora to do the business. That's just a fact. So, the last person, Mr. Adesoye,
Yeah.
I think you were saying something. That will be the last person before round up. Go ahead, please.
You have already called on me before.
Oh, okay.
But if I may ask, sir, you said that it's not all sawdust that someone can use. What do you mean by that, sir?
We have hardwood, we have softwood. All right.
Okay.
Softwood does not work. And merely taking the sawdust and looking at it, we know which one will work and which one will not work. So those are the things you'll be exposed to in the mentorship class. So you're ready to start, just go to that link and order your mentorship guide. Once you order, you get your full ebook, and then you will be connected to the mentorship class. We don't need a lot of people. I think we can just handle like 10. So as soon as we have 10, we shut it off, and then we'll continue.
Okay, but sir, those of us that we don't even want to start with production, do we still need to get the mentorship guide?
No,
we just want to be paying and
you just
be exporting.
If you want to export, you are still in
buy
the business.
And sell.
If you want to export, you are still in the business. These are the things that will open up to you: how to export, buy, and all that. But if you just want to buy, we can give you a place to buy. Just go and buy, just go and sell. But if you need nitty-gritties of, we have exported, all right? We know the routes, we know everything to do. So we'll put you through all those things in the guide. But if you don't need the guide, you can just tell, we can just give you somebody producing, go and buy from them. You know, so it's as easy as that. So thank you very much. And I hope hopefully I'll be meeting a number of you in the mentorship group. So thank you very much. God bless. Stop sharing screen.